Happy Thursday, James Zheng here, coach, trainer, entrepreneur. Welcome to Daily Wisdom. And we spend 10, 15 minutes going over some wisdom principles to help you with your businesses, your lives. This is open for absolutely anybody. And today we're going to talk about a word which I think has a negative connotation, but it's super, super important if you want to achieve anything of significance in your life, which is the word of obsession. Obsession. So if that interests you, then tag someone in this, share this. Also subscribe to our YouTube. We put all of our replays up there, and join our Zoom room. Anyone can join this. We have Angie Young, Christina, Annette, Diane, Marla, Pam today. Great to see everybody. You can hang with us as well too. But I wonder, has anyone here ever been accused of being obsessed about something before? Right? Yeah, you've been accused. You have people around you saying, hey, kind of cool it down. Like you need to have balance in your life. Don't be so intense with things, right? Yeah. And it's like, of course, obsession in a negative sense, obsessed with an addiction or obsessed with something negative is a very negative thing. However, it's interesting that when we become obsessed about something that you want in life, you're going to get different responses, right? Yeah. You're going to have, for most people, to be honest, when we think about obsession, they think that it's not healthy. They think that you're weird. They think that you're like, man, you're just not fun right now. Like, what are you doing? I remember when I first got into business and I was so obsessed about growth and I wanted to learn, and I wasn't hanging out with my frat bros as much. I wasn't partying with them as much. I went to sleep a little bit earlier, and they're like, bro, what's up with you, man? You're like so boring now. I'm like, dude, I'm just obsessed about my life. And I started to think to myself, is there something wrong about that? Or is there actually something that's healthy about that? In fact, are there things that are law? Like, is that just how it works? And the reality is is your obsessions are super important to have. And if you know that obsession is a great state to have, an obsession, let's just define it as an extreme passionate focus towards something that you're intending to go to. Right, an extreme passionate focus towards a direction that you're intending to go to, something that you want. The reality is if you want to achieve anything of any amount in life, you're going to have to be obsessed about it. And it's okay to be obsessed about that as well too. And why is that? We're in the stage right now, we've been talking about quantum leaps. We've been talking about achieving the most miraculous, remarkable things in your life for the year of 2023. And if there's one thing that you should do more of, you should be more obsessed. What does obsession look like? Okay. Obsession is when you're thinking about it all the time. You're like eating and breathing and sleeping with this idea in your mind. It is on the tip of your mind all the time. And you're just constantly thinking, how do we get this done? And I'll share with you a personal example of how to get there, but also what it can yield as well too. Because if you understand the state of obsession in the positive sense, you're going to be able to achieve the most amazing things to happen. Yeah, you're dreaming about your next invites and prospects. Who's next? That's how it should be. That's when you know you're dreaming about your business. Good. That's when you know you're on the right track right there. Remember, if we want a quantum leap in our life, we're going to do things in a different way, right? And if you do things in this way, this is what happens, okay? How do you develop obsession? Let's talk about it. Obsession is a state of mind that can actually be triggered by repeatedly thinking about the thing that you truly, truly want. So whatever goal that it is that you have, as you're mapping out the next year, as you're mapping out the end of this year, you can literally will yourself into obsession. If you think about it, over and over and over and over again. So take what it is that you want to have. Pam says VIP 3. So in our business, we have a certain goal that's there, right? And with that goal, imagine as if it were already done and get yourself into an emotional state as if it were already done. So what would it feel like hitting the income goals that you truly, truly want? What would you be doing? Perhaps some of you want to be able to be recognized on stage, or maybe you want to win a trip, or maybe you want to be able to have a certain experience with your family. Literally imagine your goal being done already, and really imagine the feelings of you being there already and having it done. And what starts to happen is you start to get excited about that, don't you? You start to visualize what it is that you're wearing. You start to feel what it is that you're feeling. And those feelings, what's amazing about your subconscious mind is it doesn't know what's reality or not. You can literally trick your mind into believing something that's not physically here yet. You start getting excited about that. But you have to do this over and over and over and over again, because, well, we're dealing with our reality here as well too. And we're constantly battling our minds versus what we want to have versus what it is that we see in front of us, right? You might be thinking, I want to make $10,000 a month, but really right now, my business, I'm making, $500 a month, $1,000 a month. I just got started. How is that even possible? All right, you got to keep on repeating this. And you know what happens? There becomes a state. Yes, believe it, and then you will see it. Absolutely. And then there comes a day where you wake up and it's like you made an emotional decision. You made a commitment. And you're like, I don't know how this is going to happen, but it's going to happen. Walking on stage at Virtual GoPro 2023, you can take a vacation when you want without worrying about what's in the bin. Exactly, right? Whatever it is that you really, really want. That's why it's got to be something big, something exciting, something thrilling to you. You can work yourself into that white heated emotional state, and it becomes an obsession. Your body always follows your mind. So when you get into that place, then that's when the miracles start to happen. You start waking up a little bit extra early because you're obsessed about this idea. You start getting ideas of the next stages on what to do that you weren't thinking about before. You start not looking at the clock anymore. You're just handling what it is that you need to handle. And it's the most remarkable state to be in, because you're in a state of creation now. You're in the state that we are meant to be in. We are most like a creator when we're creating. You know that? So these are things that are incredible, creating the things that are you're imagining in your life. And I'll share with you a personal example now. And it's just so cool because these are laws that we go through. And I had an inspired idea. So we're sitting in Virtual GoPro, a big virtual conference just around 10 days ago. And during that time, I was in a deep time of prayer, fasting, and study. And I was seeking some big breakthroughs, right? And I was thinking of the breakthrough. I was thinking about the things that I wanted to get done. And what happened is on that last day of Virtual GoPro, I was sitting there. It was kind of like this epiphany moment. Have you had those breakthrough moments before? That moment of clarity, that moment of decision. You're like, there it is, let's go. And an idea popped into my mind to write a book. And it's an interesting book because it's a spiritual book. Now, I'm not a pastor. I didn't grow up in church. I'm not a biblical scholar by any means. I'm a business coach, right? Like that's what I do. But there was this idea of writing a spiritual based book. And I'm like, this is interesting, but it got me super, super excited. And in 10 days, let's just put it this way. What started as an idea ended up now being a reality. And literally in 10 days, I wrote a book, and I just launched actually a Kickstarter campaign for this book. If anyone's interested in checking that out, I put the links in my bio and links on my pages and everything. But literally this book called The Miraculous Breakthrough Formula, the 7-day challenge biblically guaranteed to help you get unstuck and achieve the impossible. I've never written a book. I've never launched a book. I had no idea of anything about this. In 10 days, obsessed, got it done, and now preparing for the future launch of it. And I was just so fascinated by this process because for each and every single one of us, and thank you for that, it's an amazing experience. I'm telling you this, I woke up at 4 a.m. every single day, just boom, figuring this out. It got me to think outside of the box. It got me to talk to people I was scared to talk to. If you know Robert Allen, he's a best-selling New York Times author, multiple best-selling author. I actually spoke with him directly, and he mentored me through the process. He's actually given me a quote for the book, and I'm like, dang, This is a guy that I've read his books on and stuff, you know, like the most amazing things happen for your life. You, in your business, you talk to people that are scary to you. In your life, you have those crucial conversations that are intense for you, you know, and it's impressive. Yeah, not because I'm impressive, but because these are things that every one of us can do. And like, literally, I spoke to one of my other friends that's a best-selling author. They said it took them 6 months to write a book. And I'm like, this took 10 days. You know, I'm not comparing. I'm just saying, when you get obsessed the right way, quantum leaps start to happen. You compress time frames. You find the right people. You find the right resources. You find the time. You figure it out. You learn things. I learned things about technology and book writing and publishing and stuff. Like, none of these things are even in my awareness just 10 days ago. And that can happen for you as well too, when you understand the power of letting yourself become obsessed about a good idea, an inspired idea. Some of us here are holding back. Some of us here are something you know that you want, but you're scared to go all in on that idea. Because maybe you're scared of judgment. Maybe you're scared of what if you fail. Maybe you're scared of, man, is this really the right place to go to? My encouragement to you today is to accept it and go for it. Accept it and just go all in on it. And don't care about what anyone else thinks around you. If you feel, and it's been a resonating idea on your mind, in fact, put a 1 in the chat if you have an idea right now that you know, a goal right now, you know that you should be aiming for, you should be obsessed about. So important. Yeah, accept and just go all in on that in your business, in your life, in your careers, in your relationship, whatever it is. And it's the most amazing feeling. It's kind of like you rip off the band-aid to the wound. It's kind of like you've been bottling up this soda can, and you've been shaking, and you finally release the release valve. And what it is you're releasing, as Nicole said, you're releasing your future story into the world and your unique impact and impression into the world. And people need that experience around you. Last note, in today's society, I think more than anything, what people need, what the world needs, is they need people that are living inspiring lives at a high level, and they need to see what it looks like to be around someone that's truly positively obsessed, because that is a good way of living. You're living up to your highest potential. So your story matters and your story counts. Be obsessed. Let's end this year strong. I hope that this was empowering to you. If it was, share this, like this, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you want to join our Zoom room, feel free to as well too. We do this every Monday through Friday. And other than that, guys, let's crush the day. All right, guys.